As I step back, paralyzed by fear, Jah-Rai-Vek charges forward and impales one of the undead, who is then struck by a brutal axe blow to the back. Gorgoro draws two of them to himself, accustomed to being outnumbered, while Jah-Rai-Vek battles the third. Despite the erratic and disordered movements of the undead, Jah-Rai-Vek managed to dodge. Jah-Rai-Vek manages to defeat his opponent by driving his dagger into its skull. He then rushes to Gorgoro, who is enduring numerous scratches and bites. Working together, Gorgoro and Jah-Rai-Vek manage to decapitate a second undead. In a diversion attempt, Jah-Rai-Vek throws his dagger before charging and impaling the undead with the full length of his mutant praying mantis limb. The Forsaken are dealt with, lying in a heap at my feet. The corpse at the back of the room is not reanimated, just a simple corpse, Maviro's. It appears that whatever he was up to down here, whatever he was planning, was cut short by an attack of the undead shamblers. The bite marks and broken bones are a testament to that. He has been dead for weeks now, but the head could still be taken as proof of his demise. On him is a small satchel of coins, definitely not enough to account for all the money he has taken from the merchants. However, no amount of searching turns up anything else. There are only rotten wares and perished supplies in the containers. In light of the wounds my companions suffered to save my life, I send a few of my men to look for an apothecary nearby. One of them soon returns. Apparently, an alchemist lives not far from here. True to hearsay, a small workshop is hidden away in one of the worst parts of the Undercity, housed in a decrepit building that looks uninhabited from the outside. The alchemist's shop occupies some rooms and the cellar of the compound. Smells are invading my nostrils as I enter. The spectacle of so many jars, hanging dried plants, and odd minerals is no less potent. The alchemist is a grumbling, ragged thing. I have difficulty telling if it's a very ugly old woman or a bent old man with greasy long hair. My men are in need of medical attention. I quickly place a small pouch on the counter, and the alchemist gestures toward a room where my men lay down my wounded companions. As he tends to the wounded and wraps up more medicinal herbs for me, I can't help but strike up a conversation with him. Though the alchemist is borderline hostile when I try to talk about anything but business, after I imply that great work is done here, a curious glimmer appears in their sunken eyes. Soon, we are talking about the mysteries of alchemy, and I have to admit that the alchemist is a true savant of the profession. I come away with new recipes and insights. I order my men to return to the Comitatus, while I go to claim the bounty for Maviro, accompanied by Vorax.
So, he was dead all along.
Looks like Gravan is disappointed after I tell him the story of what happened to Maviro, and present the half-rotten, but still recognizable, head.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm happy that his miserable life ended, but I would have preferred if justice was served properly beforehand. But this, well, maybe we could see it as poetic justice. In any case, you are to be rewarded for your efforts, Vagrus. I was thinking some city assassin would claim the reward, but here you are proving me wrong. I'll be sure to tell everyone about your worth.
With that, he motions to his servant, who give me a pair of large silver coins. With a few hours left before nightfall, I take a detour to visit the Kalrish market. Perhaps we'll find some of the spices Vorax has been looking for. The Kalrish market occupies several streets and a spacious plaza on the north side of the district. Though its location is fixed, its residents are anything but. Walking at my own pace near the displays, I notice a jewel of exceptional rarity, which I hastily purchase. Tucked away at the back of an alley is a dilapidated building that looks like a barn made of stone. Faded carpets lie in front of it, covered with all sorts of junk. A small slave boy raises his sleepy eyes to me and informs me in a drawl that if I want to do business with Jah-Rai-Vek, I need to go inside. The Kalrish in the chamber lies on his side, his humanoid upper body propped up by a pile of cushions and rags. He looks ancient, with a braided white beard and an extremely long, thin moustache.
I am Jah-Rai-Vek, Wanderer, but not for long now. No, not for long. I gather you've come to buy some of my belongings. Never mind the junk outside. I have things here that might interest someone of your stature.
With that, he indicates 2 items placed carefully on earthenware plates.
My old pipe. Can't use it anymore, Wanderer. I can barely breathe now, you see. I want someone like you to have it. Someone who walks the wastelands.
What do the runes mean?
Yes, the runes. Not sure about them, but whenever I smoked from the pipe, I felt strong of will. I recommend fine Grawa root-flavored tobacco, not that damnable swamp weed.
What about the other item?
This bag. I have had it for.
He trails off with eyes closed, and I begin to think he has fallen asleep.
37 years. Yes, I kept all my tools and trail food in it. The former are still there, and one who knows his way around the Badlands will certainly know how to make use of them.
I pretend to ponder for a moment before deciding to take both items.
May the winds blow you towards your heart's desire, Wanderer.
Can we make a detour to the Vagrus Gardens? Perhaps someone there will be able to tell us more about certain plants.
Seeing no reason not to, we head toward the gardens. Living in an overgrown shack at the back of Laviena's is the superintendent whose task is to look after the garden. A lean fellow with brown, sly eyes and a slight overbite, he welcomes us with a smile and a nod, then inquires how he can be of help. We have a few questions to ask.
Questions, I see. I'm not much of a sage, but I'll do the best I can.
Do you know where we might find some Aaron's bells?
Unfortunately, no, though I wouldn't give up on the gardens entirely. Perhaps you could look around some more, find someone who does have some of the plants.
And what about wraithgrass?
You will not find that here, I'm afraid. As to why, well, let's just say that it's a highly invasive species, and I took exception to that behavior. But I know for certain that dark elves like to cultivate the weed for unsavory use. Should you come across a settlement or colony of their cruel kin, perhaps they could supply you with the plant.
Given his insinuations, I decide to take a walk through the gardens. The gardens are huge, so it takes quite a while to explore them. I would expect the gardens to be primarily mushrooms, given the conditions of the shelter, but to my surprise, there is a lot of variety beyond those. I appreciate the many types of rare plants here. Whether it's a rare specimen or useful mutations, it gives me more insight into post-calamity fauna. Given the recent events, I book an inn for my men so they can rest properly and enjoy a decent meal. As usual, I find Garrik off on his own, closely inspecting a piece of jewelry.
If it isn't my mate, the Vagrus, how come you're here to visit?
I place a small pouch in front of him. Here's a little extra for everything you do for my comitatus.
War, mate, war. That's what I like to see. That's one I deserve too. To say the least, I'm the most valuable member of this crew, and I don't get on your nerves with stupid shit like the others. That deserves some extra benefits.
I'm ready to help you get back what was stolen from you.
So, you want to help poor me? Or can't help wondering why that is? You wouldn't want perchance a share of the profits, would you?
I wouldn't say no.
Well, I would have thought less of you if you didn't. A Vagrus should keep a keen eye on profit. That's what I always say. How about 20% of the overall value?
20% sounds more than fair to me.
So glad you're in. I'm about to shit myself. Would have been a mighty clusterfuck if I tried this on me own. Now listen. I got some stashes with fine goods and finer silver hidden all around this fucking wasteland, in case things got hairy, you know. And since they did, I'm gonna cash them in. I'm about to tell you where in these darned lands I hid them.
I'm listening.
First, there is one at the foot of one of Tarathion's Falls' stone spires in its southern outskirts. Don't think that should be too much of a problem, although there is always the chance of things going this shite. Then I hid one crate in the desert, just south of Mirage, not far from a shithole of those filthy Sadarar bombs. And lastly, we'll have to do some digging in the southeastern reaches of friggin' Hargad Tool. Ever-loving ancestors, how I hate that place. But it was out of the way, so I thought it was a good idea back when I hid the goodies. Get all of it, did ya? What a sharp fella you are. A bold suggestion here. Maybe don't screw around too much. You might be me boss for the time being, but you're gonna make it worth me while. Else what's the point of me sticking around? Better hurry up, mate.
After several days of travel, I feel that I can delegate some of the work. Taking advantage of our walk, I offer him the position of supercargo in exchange for extra pay, which he accepts. Today, we're setting out for Deven. It's my first time. I visit the merchants of the great houses with the intention of making a detour to Aachen. I take the opportunity to upgrade my mounts with some lamps and stock up on pottery. Suddenly, a shrill cry pierces the air. I set off with haste toward the source of the worrisome noises. When I arrive at the source, one of my crew is thrashing on the ground, clutching his ankle, which has already swollen to twice its normal size. I quickly learn that the man, himself a worker, was stung by a scorpion roughly the size of my palm. I can already see the venom taking hold. The swelling is worsening, and his skin has taken on a sickly sheen, discolored with black and blue tinges. The venom of some desert scorpions is often lethal. I have some medical knowledge, but not enough for this. Fortunately, I had the foresight to purchase an antidote earlier. The man keeps crying out until they gag him. Several minutes after I have administered the antidote to him, his body relaxes, and in a quarter of an hour, he is up and about. The worker is beside himself with gratitude. Most Vagri would not inconvenience themselves so for a mere laborer. We're staying for less than an hour, just enough time to deliver and load a new shipment. As we travel along the main road, a gargantuan structure takes shape in the distance, and even from miles away, the melodies played by the grand stone, called Ventulium, can be heard loud and clear. Before me stands the great monolith of Ventulium, reaching towards the sky in its twisted glory. Its pointed end must be dozens of yards from the ground where I stand, looking up. The stone seems somewhat out of place among the jagged rocks of the arid wasteland, even with the smaller, sculpted stones standing around it in circles. Its smooth surface and geometrically regular trenches and holes look artificial, yet no sculptor, no matter how patient and good at their craft, could have carved them. And even if they somehow did, to what purpose? Perhaps there are days when little to no wind blows here, and the stone does not sing, but I somehow doubt it. Right now, the constant changing gale plays Ventulium like a complex flute, its sharp music carried far away on the cool breeze. The melody is surprisingly song-like, as if sung by some strange, hidden creature of the sky. Listening to the noise for a while makes me realize that there are patterns in the perceived chaos, just very well hidden for most listeners. I stop dead, and even my heart skips a beat the moment I find the tune, nay, the system of tunes hidden in the cacophony. It cannot be a coincidence. Someone has built this mind-bogglingly complex stone spire to function as a musical instrument that the winds play with astonishing consistency. Was it a sorcerer with a musical obsession or a mad god? I cannot help but wonder.